Hello everyone, welcome to Home Cooking with me Hema Subramanian. Many of you have requested for simple meal combos and today I'm going to share two wonderful meal combinations that's perfect for lunch or dinner. So let's get started and check out these delicious recipes. For the vegetable pulao, I have kept all the ingredients ready here. So first for the masala paste, take a small piece of cinnamon in a mixer jar. To this add 4 cloves, 2 cardamom, 1 star anise, 1 kapok bud that is Marathi Moggu, 1 small piece of nutmeg, 2 pieces of mace, 1 teaspoon of poppy seeds, 1 teaspoon coriander seeds, 1 teaspoon cumin seeds, 1 teaspoon peppercorns and 2 small pieces of stone flour. This is all with the spices. Next add 1 piece of ginger roughly chopped, 3 garlic cloves, a piece of fresh coconut finely chopped, 1 medium-sized tomato roughly cut up, just a small amount of coriander leaves and mint leaves. That's all, and you first have to grind these ingredients without adding any water to the mixer jar. For this to become a fine paste, I'm adding some water to the jar to grind it again. So now the masala paste for the rice is ready. It's nice, smooth and fine. This is the consistency it has to be in. Keep this aside. Take a deep pot, add about 2 tablespoons of ghee and 1 tablespoon of oil. To this add 1 bay leaf and about 15 whole cashew nuts. Roast these ingredients until the cashew nuts are golden brown in color. Once done, add 2 medium-sized onions finely chopped. Add 3 slit green chilies. Saute until the onions are slightly golden in color. At this point, add 1 potato nicely cut up. I'm adding potatoes first because this is the only vegetable that takes a lot of time to cook. After 2 minutes, add a bowl of cauliflorets and mix. It will be nice if the florets are medium size and not too big. Now add 1 cup of carrot, a bowl of cut up beans, a bowl of fresh peas and mix well. Now for these veggies to cook well and faster, I'm adding a teaspoon of rock salt. You can also use a regular table salt if you don't have rock salt with you. Give it all a quick mix. Now just add about 1 tablespoon of water to let the vegetables cook. Mix well and cover the pot with the lid. Cook the vegetables for about 5 minutes on low flame. After 5 minutes, you can see that the vegetables have softened up after steam cooking. That's why you should never pour more water because they can get mushy. At this stage, I'm adding the masala paste that's already ground. Mix the masala with vegetables and saute for about 2 to 3 minutes on medium-low flame. For this recipe, I've taken 1 cup of basmati rice and I've soaked it in water for about 30 minutes. It's a 250 ml cup measurement. Strain off the excess water and add the soaked rice alone to the pot. Gently mix the soaked rice along with the masala and make sure that the rice grains do not break. So you have to be a bit careful while mixing this. After the masala coats all the rice grains, add 2 cups of water for 1 cup of rice with the same 250 ml measuring cup. Gently mix everything after you pour the water. At this point, you can check for seasoning and add salt if required. This needs a little more salt, so I'm just adjusting it. Mix it all again and cover the pot with the lid. Keep the flame on low and cook the pulao for about 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, you can see that the pulao is perfectly cooked. I'm getting a wonderful aroma due to all the spices I have used for the masala paste. The rice is also really fluffy. Now after 15 minutes, turn off the stove and let it sit on dum for the remaining heat in the pot. That's it. This Andhra style vegetable pulao is ready to be served nice and hot. You can enjoy this with onion raita, salan or with some nice bundi raita by the side. I'll give you a couple of links to the other biryani and pulao recipes I've made earlier. Do check them out. To a pan, add about 2 teaspoons of oil. Once the pan is hot, just add the potatoes and start roasting them till they turn to a nice golden color. For this recipe, I've taken 3 large potatoes, peeled off the skin and cut into medium-sized pieces. So you can see the potatoes have been roasted to a nice golden color. At this point, turn off the stove and transfer it to a bowl and keep it aside. To the same pan, add about 1.5 tablespoons of oil. Next add all the whole spices, 1 teaspoon fennel, 1 teaspoon cumin seeds, cinnamon, cloves and cardamom. Now add 2 large onions finely chopped, add a few cloves of garlic, a piece of ginger chopped, add 3 green chilies, after sauteing the onions for about 3 minutes, next add 3 medium-sized tomatoes finely chopped, I'm going to add about half teaspoon of salt. This will help to cook the tomatoes a little faster. Once the tomatoes have become nice and mushy, turn off the stove. Transfer the ingredients to a plate and cool it completely. So we are going to grind these ingredients into a nice fine paste. Transfer all the cooled ingredients to the mixer jar. Pour a little water and grind everything to a nice fine puree. So I've taken 1 cup of curd and I'm just whisking it nicely. So we'll be using this for the gravy. So you can see it's become nice and creamy. So once you've done that, keep the whisked curd aside. To a nice white kadai, add about 3 tablespoons of oil. So keeping the flame on a low, I'm going to add turmeric powder, 2 teaspoons Kashmiri red chili powder, 2 teaspoons coriander powder, 2 teaspoons cumin powder, 1 teaspoon salt. Just mix everything first. Remember to maintain the flame on a low while adding all these powders, otherwise they can get burnt. Once you've added all the spice powders and mixed it all together, add 1 cup of whisked curd. Once you've added it, start cooking the curd. This is going to take a few minutes. So the curd along with the masalas will nicely thicken. So don't panic if you see this much of oil in the kadai. You need a certain amount of oil to cook the curd mixture. Once it's come to this nice thick masala consistency, add the onion tomato puree. So keeping the flame on a medium low, continue to cook this masala. You can see how this masala has absorbed all the oil. So now you can add a little water to the mixer jar and wash off all that excess masala that's sticking and just pour it back into the kadai. Once the curry comes to a boil, add the roasted potatoes and also I'm adding 1 cup of cooked peas. Now you can also add fresh peas. So just mix everything together. At this point, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of amchur powder. Just add a little water, about 1/4 cup. Close the kadai and let this cook for about 10 minutes on medium flame. After 10 minutes, you can see the gravy looks absolutely wonderful. The oil has separated. The aloo matar curry has come together so beautifully. Now I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of garam masala powder. Next add a few kasuri methi leaves. So these are going to be your finishing touches to this delicious curry. Give that a quick mix. So this is a classic dish that you can enjoy with any rotis or rice, and of course not without my favorite garnish. Finally finish off by adding some chopped coriander leaves. I'm serving this absolutely fabulous aloo matar curry with some nice soft chapatis by the side. This is a perfect dish for any rotis, so you can enjoy it with some nice fulkas or naan, bread, anything, any breads of your choice. For the vegetable paratha, to a pan add about 2 teaspoons of oil, add a few cloves of garlic finely chopped, 1 large onion finely chopped, Saute the onions for about 2 to 3 minutes. Next, add a few beans finely chopped. Add 1 medium-sized carrot finely chopped. Add 1 cup of finely chopped cabbage. So just make sure all the vegetables are very finely chopped. Add half teaspoon of ginger garlic paste. So this is optional. If you don't want to add it, you can do it without the ginger garlic paste. Next, add 2 medium-sized boiled potatoes. Just roughly mash them with your hands and add them to the pan. Mix everything nicely. Next, add some salt, half teaspoon turmeric powder, 1 teaspoon coriander powder, 1.5 teaspoons red chili powder, 1 teaspoon garam masala. Just mix everything. So you can see how beautiful and colorful this is looking. So I'm just going to mash the potatoes nicely. So once you've mashed the potatoes along with the other vegetables, you can see how beautifully this mixture is coming together. Just add some kasuri methi leaves and some finely chopped coriander leaves. So now the vegetable mixture for the parathas is done. Transfer the vegetable mixture to another bowl and cool it completely. So once the mixture is cooled down completely, add 2 cups of atta, that is wheat flour, and mix it along with the vegetable mixture. You can adjust the quantity of atta, that is the wheat flour, depending on the quantity of vegetable mixture that you've made. So you can see I'm just adding little water at a time to mix the dough. So the dough is gradually coming together. Knead the dough for about 5 minutes till it's all well combined and you get a nice soft palpable dough. So the vegetable dough for the parathas is done. Just add a little oil on the dough, rub it all over. Close the bowl and let it sit for about 10 to 15 minutes. So after 15 minutes, divide the dough into equal sized dough balls. Dust the rolling surface. Place one of the dough balls, roll it out flat. You don't want it too thin or too thick, so I've just rolled it out to a nice medium size. Roll out all the dough balls in this manner. Once the tawa is hot, we're going to start cooking the parathas. Place the paratha on the hot tawa, cook on one side, flip it onto the other side. Add a little ghee on both sides. Now I'm being a little generous with the ghee. Once you get these nice brown spots on the paratha, remove them from the hot tawa and you can serve them nice and hot. Now I'm going to quickly make some bundi raita to go with the parathas. To a cup of whisked curd, I'm adding some bundi. Just mix it in. So you can serve these nice, delicious and hot vegetable parathas with some nice pickle and some nice bundi raita by the side. They make for a perfect meal. You can enjoy these anytime. You can make them in advance and put it in a box and you can refrigerate them. You can even freeze them. They're just absolutely delicious. For this recipe, I've taken 400 grams of fresh paneer. First, I'm going to marinate the paneer with the basic spice mix, starting with 1 teaspoon of salt, half teaspoon turmeric powder, 1 teaspoon Kashmiri red chili powder, and 1 teaspoon kasuri methi. Just mix everything well. So when you coat the paneer pieces with all the spice mix, it gives a very nice flavor. It's always best to use your hands to mix the pieces. So let this just sit for about 10 minutes. Next, I'm going to make the curd mixture. For this, I've taken 500 grams of nice thick fresh curd. I'm adding a few spice powders to the curd, starting with 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric powder, 2 teaspoons Kashmiri red chili powder, 1 teaspoon cumin powder, 2 teaspoons coriander powder, 1 teaspoon garam masala powder, and 1 teaspoon salt. Using a whisk will be handy because it will help to combine the masala, that is the spice mixes, well with the curd. Next, I'm going to roast the paneer pieces. To a pan, I'm just adding about 2 teaspoons of ghee. If you don't want to add ghee, you can just add oil. So I'm just gently dropping the pieces into the pan. Wow, you can see the paneer pieces have marinated well in the masala mix. So I'm just going to roast it Keeping the flame on medium, just make sure the pieces are roasted on all sides. So you can see the paneer is just roasted beautifully on all sides. You don't have to roast it too much till it turns to a brown color or a golden brown color. Once all the sides are coated and toasted well, just remove from the pan and keep it aside. I have prepped the paneer and the curd. Now let's start making the Dahi Paneer curry. Take a nice white kadai. I'm adding about 3 tablespoons of oil. Once the oil is heated, add 1 teaspoon of cumin seeds, 2 small bay leaves. Just roast it a bit. Next, I'm adding 2 large onions finely chopped. Now if you can't chop the onions very fine, you can grate them and use them. Saute the onions till they turn to a nice golden brown color. Once the onions have turned to a nice golden brown color, I'm adding about 1 heaped teaspoon of fresh garlic paste and 1 heaped teaspoon of fresh ginger paste. Just mix everything well. Maintain the heat on a low, and once the raw smell has gone, I'm adding the curd mixture. Now turn off the stove at this point and quickly stir the curd mixture so that it doesn't curdle. Turn the stove back on and keep the flame on low and keep stirring the curd mixture on low flame for about 5 minutes. We're going to heat this mixture gradually. After 5 minutes, I'm adding about 1 cup of water. Mix everything well. Close the kadai and let it cook for about 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, the raw smell has gone. You can see the oil has separated beautifully. To make the gravy a little more richer and creamier, I'm adding about half cup of diluted cashew paste. I've ground about 25 cashew nuts to a nice fine paste and I'm adding that. So this is going to give you a very nice creamy texture to the gravy. Once the gravy comes to a nice boil, I'm gently going to slide in the roasted paneer pieces. So at this point, you can check for seasoning and add a little bit of salt if you need. Next, I'm adding 2 green chilies slit. So just mix everything well. Close the kadai and let this cook for about 2 to 3 minutes on medium flame. So after 3 minutes, you can see the gravy has come together so beautifully. The oil has separated. Finally, I'm finishing off by adding some crushed kasuri methi leaves and some finely chopped fresh coriander leaves. So here is this incredibly delicious, rich and creamy Dahi Paneer gravy is ready to be served. Wow, just look at that. It's a very simple dish loaded with flavors. You can enjoy this with any roti of your choice. You can also serve it with some nice mild pulaus. Pulao, paneer curry, parathas and sabzi, they all make for wonderful meal combos. So do give them a try and enjoy with your family and friends. Check out the product tags below if you'd like to shop the items I use in this video. For the detailed recipe, go to our HomeCookingShow.in website. The second edition of the home cooking book is now available on Amazon as well as on shop.homecookingshow.in.